We moved back to the area from London. My son was about to go into year 4. We looked at a number of schools and we actually came across Lady Barn because I rang a secondary school. And as we were looking around, the staff spent time with us. We just looked at what we saw and we looked at the environment and the opportunities that were being offered to the children. We both came away going, do you know what? This is right for Ben as well. When they're at a school for so much of their working day, and if you want them to be there, you want them to feel welcome, supported, it was a no-brainer for us. We put him here and maybe we made the choice to put him in the right environment for him, and that's what you get here. You get the staff, you get the support, and yes, you get the facilities, but you get just a nice world for your child to exist in. They take a pride in creating their own standards, but they're able to take it to lots of experiences. So my son was involved with the maths challenge. I don't even know how they start to answer some of those questions. Jessie, when she was started in year 2, there is an initiative run by the school, Thinker of the Week. The great thing about it is she brings home these questions and it doesn't just make her think, it makes us think. It gives us something to discuss. They're trying to achieve more. They're trying to think wider. They're not trying to think down one path. They're allowed to explore. In years 5 and 6, they do an immense amount to support the children, wherever they're going on to, wherever they're going to be moving on to. It's not just the staff, it's the kids that they play with, it's the parents. It goes far beyond what is just offered in this building. In year 6, he went off on some amazing experiences, amazing trips. And one day, hopefully, he'll have his own children and he'll tell them about that. They have both had the luxury of attending the same school together because it happens, in our opinion, to be the right place for both of them. Our little one will also attend here because if she gets even half of what they've had, she'll be a lucky girl. You know, there is also in life a huge degree of luck, whatever decisions you take, and to see them appreciate the world and an awareness of their circumstances and the community that they fit in, I think is a really, really important thing that you don't just get through sitting and looking at a piece of paper. It's not just about what they can achieve on a piece of paper or what they can achieve in an exam result. This is setting them up for a long time. They're very aware that every child is different.
I've had 2 children through Lady Barn. My son came 9 years ago and he's at high school now. My daughter's in the final year. My son was here and he suffered from dyspraxia. That was identified and worked with to a point now that he's totally overcome that.
Lucy started here in year 3 and it was important for me that she went to a prep school where she would see it through to the end.
I think the pastoral care is embedded in the whole ethos of the school. Hard work, of good morals, of traditional British values, but all done in a low-key manner and achieving quietly and supporting each other.
The kids all work hard and play hard here. I mean, I'm a big believer in that, and I really think this school, that's what they really, really achieve here.
I think if I give you one example of something which encapsulates the spirit of Lady Barn, is I've just given my daughter her exam results and they all cheered spontaneously. And you know,
I've just done the same, and all the girls came rushing over. They're all delighted for each other, not just for themselves. They're just such a lovely bunch of girls, aren't they?
And that genuine delight is there to support each other in whatever they do.
I found the teachers to be utterly professional at the school and to indoctrinate in our children good behaviour, and I think the children here do come out very well behaved, articulate, and also sensitive and caring to all denominations, faiths, religions, boys and girls together. And I think from that point of view, the way that they are disciplined is extremely good.
The relationship with teaching and parent, with the outdoor activities that the school do with the family, the parent and child weekends, for instance, encouraging parents to come to the school to support different events, the music events. We meet each other, we meet the staff, and there are no barriers, therefore, between parent and staff. And the children see that and they feel that. And I think it helps with the niggling little problems that you will get.
There is a Lady Barn family, friendship, great support network here, and I've made some great friends here. I didn't know anybody, any other families here when Lucy started 3 years ago. Lucy didn't know anybody here, and we settled in immediately. We met so many good friends here. We've been on a couple of activities that the school organised and met really good fun people. In fact, I think we're going to miss it, aren't we? When
we are going to miss it. Well, we might
when
come
they move
back
in September.
I've had Parent Day. If you bring your child to Lady Barn, your child will succeed to the best of their ability and they won't be stressed. In fact, you'll see them blossom.
I came to the school, I was a student of the school in 1972, so I've got a long and checkered history with the school. It's been fantastic. You go from being a young person to a young adult.
You are immediately struck with this family atmosphere that you get, how you're being welcomed into the premises, just a general feeling that you get of like a second home. You do truly get that feeling as soon as you walk in. We both had the feeling that that's the school for our child, and we never looked back since.
Both our children have just left recently. I was obviously a student at the school. My brother is a director, a governor at the school. We've had
3 nieces now at the school.
3 nieces at the school, and 4 different
connection.
family connections, cousins that have been through the education at the school. So a very strong connection, and the biggest connection is I'm still in touch with all the previous teachers, even my old teachers from 1972 to 78.
It is an extension of your own home. That's what you can hope for in a school, and Lady Barn do that perfectly. They reinforce all the family values that we all hope our children to grow on. The family values in the sense of down to the smallest details. In the dining room when they're having their lunch, from the classroom, how to participate, to how to walk in the hallway, to how to talk to the different visitors that come to the school, and to allow them the chance to participate in these fantastic events and ask questions and just experiment.
The environment of going on school trips, art, drama, all the other pastoral care and co-curricular activity that you get is probably the best that I've ever experienced. And I've still not heard of another school at this sort of level that gives those extracurricular activities. That's what defines you when you're growing up. I remember the field trips, I remember the parent and child weekend, I remember all these skiing trips and rugby trips and football trips, more than you do the education. Obviously, that comes with it, and that's what sets it apart.
Lady Barn has not just high standards of academia, but they have it and they achieve it without unnecessary pressure on the child. And I find that to be the most important, because you want your child to learn and love learning. That pressure-free environment that allows them to learn guides them ultimately to a career, whatever it may be, that they will be successful in. The children become achievers through love of learning and love of the subjects that they are learning. And I believe this is the biggest strength of Lady Barn.
We still have Annabelle and Alice. Annabelle's in year 3 and Alice is in year 1. Sophie's left now. She's currently in year 7 at Manchester High. We've known the school for years. My brother came to the school when we moved to the area. My sister's children have all been to the school. Straight away, as soon as we came to the school, we knew it was the right one.
They've all been from kindergarten, well, Sophie has right through to leaving, and we just see it as a great school for them, and they seem to really enjoy themselves when they're here. When they actually left, she was disappointed that she left, wasn't she?
No, they all cry, don't they? When they have all the shirts on and everybody signs the shirts, and then they're all crying. I think I even saw a few boys crying as well, which was nice.
Yeah.
It's all the family values of the school, how they bring up the children with the behaviour, good manners. All the children have exceptional manners, opening the doors for you. And it's the little things, you know, it's the little personal things which really set the school.
They're always doing something after school or clubs. Like Annabelle, she loves the a Mandarin. She comes home, talks Mandarin to me, I haven't got a clue what she's saying. All three of them have done, Sophie, Alice and Annabelle. They've all done the ballet and the dance.
It's exceeded the expectations really, because from a school you think of the education, being academic, performing well, but what you don't imagine is how close everybody is and the friendship that everybody has. And it's right when they do say the Lady Barn family, because that's what everybody is very close within the school. Whenever I take the girls somewhere straight after school, everybody comments on how smart they look.
Yeah, they do.
And how polite they are. And yeah, I'm proud to say, yeah, they go to Lady Barn.
The teacher that taught Sophie taught my brother-in-law Danny as well. And what Danny used to tell me about it, he's 34, now 35. The school's not changed as in the way it represents itself and everything. It's still got all them values from years ago.
Sophie went on the Rounders tour in year 6. The anticipation, every morning she was checking the mailbox for the letter. Am I on the Rounders tour? Am I on the Rounders tour? Anyway, the letter came. It was opening it up. Am I in the Rounders tour?
Screaming
running around screaming. That was one of the highlights, I think, for Sophie, wasn't it? For getting picked for the Rounders, and she was with all her friends as well. They do miss the school, don't they?
Yeah, big time, yeah.
We have Evelyn currently in year 6, she's just turned 11, and we have Henry currently in year 4, and he has just turned 9. We've been here 18 months now, and we came from Surrey, and Evelyn joined Lady Barn House in year 5, and Henry joined in year 3. It's been fantastic.
I was concerned from coming from a big school with lots of sport, 4 teams for everything, 7 sets. But actually, it just had the right feeling, and whilst it's academic, Evelyn and Henry have really progressed in all their sport and music, and they get involved in all of the activities and the trips. It's really provided just the full spectrum of opportunity for them.
The children were impeccably well mannered. They held doors open for us. They were smiling, they were fun, they were clearly thriving here. I just knew it was the school for Evelyn and Henry.
I think the school is big enough to provide everything, but small enough that the teachers know the children. They really know who they are, and they're able to spot them when they need a little pep up or just keep them motivated and positive. The teachers really do understand the children in a way that they didn't at their old school.
Well, they get involved in everything. I don't think there's one night that they're not involved in something, which is just fantastic. They absolutely love every single part of the extracurriculum. Henry particularly loves Mandarin, which he didn't have the opportunity to do in our previous school, and he loves it. He came home last night and he was reciting head, shoulders, knees and toes in Mandarin, which was amazing, absolutely amazing.
We lived in Hong Kong for a few years, and I, as a monotone Yorkshireman, attempted to learn Mandarin, and Henry's already better than I am. It's incredible. He's really got it and he loves it.
The pastoral care has been second to none.
Lady Barn has provided a fantastic platform and development for our children. It's got the right mix of pastoral care and strong academics and extracurricular activity, and we wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to anybody. In fact, we've recommended it to lots of people.
Hopefully they will, and they are doing, they're realising their potential, and that is purely down to Lady Barn House School.
We had 4 kids here with just 6 years apart, so it was very concentrated Lady Barn for several years.
Our first impression was actually, I think it was a Christmas fair just before our son started in the January, and there was a certain buzz about the school. There was a brass quartet tucked away in a corner playing Christmas carols. There was a vibrancy to it.
We like the fact that it was a mixed school.
Yes,
so
definitely.
that all your kids in one family can come here and mix with boys and girls. And also that it was not, you didn't have to take an exam to come here, so it was all seemed quite sort of calm and relaxed, whereas some of the schools we looked at, they were testing to see at age 5, whether your kid was going to be eligible.
There were always things going on. There was something every term to look forward to. I think that Christmas really began with the carol service down at St Mary's at Cheadle. After singing carols and some talks and bits and pieces from the kids, then you would shake hands with the staff who'd line the entrance as you left and wish you a Merry Christmas. It was heartfelt.
I just feel as though it was very nurturing. The school was very nurturing to the children. It wasn't just about learning maths and English and science. It was much more about learning how to be with people, how to be respectful of each other, and learning to be independent as well. I think the teachers guided them rather than told them what to do. It was always a guiding process. I think what really came across was the sort of family atmosphere, and we're all in this together, and the parents and the teachers and the kids were all collaborating to help the kids to succeed.
You just know you're getting a kid that's gone to a school that welcomed them at 3. Didn't matter which class, colour or creed. And somehow, some way, the Lady Barn way across 8 years, you were then delivering a child into secondary school of a certain standard that all these secondary schools, they all want the Lady Barn kids.
It's enriched all of our lives, hasn't it? Not just our children's. 14
years association with Lady Barn. I wish we could start again.
We've got a boy and a girl, Jay and Isha. Jay is now in year 6. He started 8 years ago. Isha's in year 4 now. She's 9. She also started when she was 3. We've been with the school for a while, haven't we?
The school, we used to pass it when we were driving anyway, and then when we moved to the local area, we'd heard really good feedback from other people that had been through the school as well.
Jay loves his sport, loves playing football, cricket. He's managed to get into the cricket team, the football team. Isha the same, she's excelled in sport here. You can see the changes in them, you know, growing up, becoming more mature.
Very confident as well, I've seen, because my son and daughter are both very different to each other. My son's always been quite a quiet boy, and so you don't actually see his full potential, which kind of shocked us as well when he was in one of the school Christmas plays and he had an actual solo singing part, which we knew he was doing, but we didn't know actually how good he was going to be at it. He's now head boy, which is, you know, beyond our expectations. We were totally thrilled with that. Yeah. So it's apparent how the schools actually recognise that more than possibly we have.
Year on year, he's managed to win a prize at the end of the year for his academia and for his entrance exams for Manchester Grammar, Stockport Grammar, Cheadle-Hulme. He's been offered a place at all 3. It's shown that there's been great reflection there and he's done really well.
All the year 6s go through the transition from year 5 to year 6, are given more responsibility, and part of that responsibility is teaching the younger years how to be more responsible and how to be more considerate, caring. Jay sits through that. He helps the younger kids read and helps them with the punctuation, so when they need to stop, and that's all that he's learnt through Lady Barn, through his English, which again he's improved at.
It's been a great extension. It's more of a family. The school demonstrates a family environment. I think we've taken it a step further with the people that we've met. We've had a fantastic experience right through, from the age of 3 right up to the age of 11. The development has been phenomenal. Every year there's been a different stage of development for the kids. They become more confident, more independent, very sociable, very caring. I'd highly, highly recommend it to anybody.
We were looking for primary schools for my daughter Lucy. We came down on the open day. We were greeted so nicely by probably a year six boy.
Beautiful young man that we will never forget.
Took us round. Absolutely amazing, and from that first handshake with that young lad, took us round. We didn't look anywhere else.
It felt the right school, a really, really happy environment. This young man that took us round, he was just the kind of young man that you hope that your children would grow up to be. I'd love to know what's happened to that young man. I've often said it, haven't I?
Well, from the fact that we had Lucy in the school, and then 2 years later we chose to bring Christian here as well, it was just, you could see it developing, and it was fabulous.
Yeah. You hear lots of different opinions from different people, but my opinion is that you don't just survive in Lady Barn, you thrive. The way that I see that, especially for Christian, is that whatever his strengths are, they have played to his strengths and they have made him even stronger in his self-esteem. And because he is a different personality to Lucy and not a natural academic, the thought, the time, the effort and the purpose of all of the teachers, all of the staff, has been outstanding really for both children.
Christian, he was really struggling with his English and his maths and actually reading. Lady Barn got someone in to have a look to see what the problems were, what issues there were, found out he was dyslexic. So from that point on, he was having a lot more tuition.
There's not really a problem at Lady Barn. They think, well, if there's extra help required, extra tuition, the actual infrastructure is very can-do. So they don't sort of see a problem really, it's just what can we do to eradicate or minimise and help the child.
With Lucy and Christian going to the camps on their own through the school, experiencing all these experiences, then coming home and telling us the experiences, and then saying, when you come and parent and child, you'll see them. So it was them showing us something rather than us showing them. We'd never canoed, we'd never gorge walked, we'd never done any of these, climbing and abseiling, we'd never done any of this. But for the kids to have done it before us, and actually for them to teach us something, was amazing. It made them so proud and so grown up.
And also we met other families, instead of just dropping the children off at school and then only turning up at parents' evening and sort of never really connecting. You were in a position to connect with like-minded parents who are striving and working hard to do the very best for their children.
Lady Barn is just such a great school. Even just arriving here today to have this interview, I've just got out of the car in the car park and all the children are playing in the playground, and my son's against the fence there and he's joined suddenly by another 10, 12 other children, all wanting to give me a high five as I came in, wondering why I was so dressed up and what I was up to. So I've just gone and done a high five like I'm a football player right the way along the line. Walked away, the teacher's running after me wondering why he's not got a high five.
I would recommend Lady Barn wholeheartedly. The way I look at it is that if I was to die in the morning, God forbid, that Lady Barn has without doubt been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
We're quite sad that they have to leave, and the fact that there isn't a secondary school part of Lady Barn. If we could have stayed here all the time, then it would have been the case, but unfortunately that's not the case.
My daughter is now in year 9 at secondary school, but she joined Lady Barn in year 2. We moved to the area and we're looking for a school to send her to. It was the sort of school that we went to and that we would like our children to go to, and it felt right and it felt comfortable, and we liked the way that they seemed to be teaching and the way they treated the children, and it just seemed like a good school to send them to. Ellie came out of the school and Edward is coming through school, and they are developing into well-rounded children. They've got the values that we would expect them to have and which the school reinforces, whether it's behaviour or attitude to work. And the one thing that we've found very different here to the school that Ellie was at previously is that actually there's an ethos that hard work is a good thing and achievement is a good thing. At your level, not everybody's going to be a genius, but everyone is encouraged to achieve the best they can. And there's none of this sort of everyone's a swot and people are singled out for trying hard. Everyone tries hard and everyone is encouraged to try hard, and it works its way through, and they come out achieving, or certainly ours have come out achieving the level we would expect them to. When Ellie started in year 2, the highlight of her year and convinced her that it was definitely the right school for her was infant camp at the end of year 2, where they trip off to the lakes for a couple of days and stay over and go out walking and do all sorts of activities. And she came back from camp, and if she'd ever had any doubts that Lady Barn was the school for her, then they disappeared in that weekend away. At the end of year 2, all the children are encouraged to take up a musical instrument. And certainly when Ellie was at the end of year 2, she chose to play the cello because that's what Mrs Marsh played at the time. When Edward was coming through at the end of year 2, we told him he could play anything other than the violin, but he had to be able to carry it himself because we still have to carry the cello everywhere. It's just an outside interest, and I think it just improves that whole thought process. They still both play, and even at year 9, Ellie still plays the cello, he's in the orchestra at secondary school, and he's going to go on and do GCSE music as well as one of her options, just because that love of music that she developed here and that interest in playing and playing in orchestra and working her way through that has stayed with her since she went on. Well, we were very pleased when Ellie was chosen to be head girl. We were very proud of her. She'd worked hard and she'd fitted in well. She only joined the school in year 2, so she hadn't had that 2 or 3 years before that to get into it. And it's traditional here that at the end of year 6 there's a speech at sports day by one of either the head girl or head boy's parents, and at the Leavers Assembly. And at the Leavers Assembly it was our turn to do the speech, which my wife did far better than I would ever have done it by doing it as a poem. recounting her experiences of school and Ellie's experiences through the school. And I felt very left out because it turned out that Mrs Bowen, who was Deputy Headmistress at the time, and my wife were wearing the same dress. And actually, had they told me there was a dress code, I think it would have suited me as well. She's flourished since she went to secondary school, and I'm sure the experience for Edward will be exactly the same during the course of the next 12 months.